What's going on, guys? Afflicted Gamer here, back with another Division video. So it is Friday. That means all of the vendors have reset, and I'm going to go from place to place picking out the best items to save you guys the time. So hopefully this video will be helpful, and if it is, please drop it a like. Consider subscribing to the channel if you are new for more Division content. I do these week to week. A lot of you have been requesting in the comments for me to add the timestamps for each piece in the description. So this week you guys got it. I'm gonna leave out the exotics. You know where they are, and you just come get them whenever you want. As for this special blueprints vendor, if I own something, it will not be here in the list. So this is the guy that you need to double check with in case I already own the blueprint that you guys don't have and may be looking for. Alright, let's get it going. We've got a classic M44 carbine for sale. I actually might grab one of these for myself. We've got an ACR assault rifle. Not too bad. Stamina mask, electronics mask. We've got a flash hider. Accuracy is the main attribute. Okay. We got an EXPS3 holographic sight with optimal range and 2 random bonuses. And then a performance gear mod, which you guys can roll to whatever you choose to. Alright, nothing too special there. The exotics. Now, some people say, oh, they're garbage, who cares, whatever, but some people want to know the roles. So, here we go. Centurion, expert, and cool-headed. The pecan. And don't forget, guys, the base damage will differ between your firearms number and mine. I'm running my skill build, so they'll be a little bit lower. Anyway, 14% damage to targets out of cover with Adept, Talented, and Pecan. Not too bad for a skill build. Cassidy, 124k, 312 stagger with Brutal, Ferocious, and Boomstick. Liberator, 21% enemy armor damage with Responsive, Vicious, and Sustained. Not bad for PvE. The Historian, we've got 161 headshot damage, Disciplined, Dominant, and History Repeats. Hopefully you guys picked that up last week if you wanted it. It had Brutal and Destructive on it, I believe. MP5, let's check this out. 22% crit hit chance with Self-Preserved, Talented, and Hurried. Not the greatest. AK, Focused, Brutal, Talented. I would get rid of Focus, that's for sure. M44 with Intense, Unforgiving, and Skilled. And the Black Market RBK was Skilled, Ferocious, and Dominant. Alright, the gear I will let you all scroll through. And somebody said, why don't you show off some of the gear in the Dark Zone? Honestly, because gear drops left, right, and center. And you can get gear anywhere, any day, anytime, in any moment of the Division. So, yeah. There's just really not much of a point. There is an extended magazine here, by the way, if you don't already own the blueprint. 109 mag size, 4% crit hit damage, and 5.6% rate of fire. That's not too bad if you're in desperate need of one or new to the Division. That's another thing too. Please keep in mind, some of the stuff that I show that people say are garbage, I point them out because if they're new to the Division, then some of this stuff will be useful to them until they can get their hands on better items. Okay, moving on. Alright, so if you make your way upstairs to the advanced weaponry vendor, he's got a couple of pretty decent items for sale. One is the Surplus SVD, 162% headshot damage with Talented, Skilled, and Disciplined. Good for anybody running a skill build. An extended mag with 110% mag size, 4% crit hit damage, 2.5% crit hit chance. The crit damage and crit chance percentages could be a little bit higher, but definitely not a bad one if you don't already have one. And lastly, the Omega Rifle Suppressor with 16.5% headshot damage, 4.5% optimal range, and 3% crit chance, along with reduced threat. Optimal range, you would rather have crit damage, but again, new people, nobody, you might need the suppressor. There's one here.
See you around.
Okay, over at the Meat Locker Safehouse, this is going to be a little bit of an iffy one, but honestly, anybody running a skill build that does like SMGs, there's a converted SMG 9 with 21% crit chance, Brutal, Adept, and Skilled. Like I said, this one will be a little bit iffy because if you are running a skill build, you won't meet the requirement for Brutal, but you could obviously reroll that for something like Ferocious and keep this as one of your primary SMGs if you don't have a better one. And I know people still do like the converted SMG 9s, including myself. So that is at the Meat Locker.
See you around.
Go to the Kerman Station Safehouse. I know some people are a fan of sidearms and want the 93R specifically. Now there is one here with expert and competent on it. These drop everywhere, so honestly, it's not a huge deal to grab this, but it is just only regular credits on the flip side of that coin. So that choice is up to you guys, but some people have been asking me directly where can I get a 93R as my sidearm. Here's one right here. Okay, if you make your way over to Dantes Run, there's a pretty good refresh mask here, and I do recommend, if you don't have one, get one. I have a video coming out on why this is so helpful very soon. 1252 firearms, over 9,000 skill power, which can be rolled to anything else, and then disorient resist. So if you want to keep the skill power, get rid of disorient resist. But honestly, if you don't have a good one, I would pick this one up for sure. Alright, up at the Crypt Safehouse. This is going to be a little iffy also, but once upon a time the first wave M1A ruled for marksman rifles. 150 headshot damage, not that high, but skill build, ferocious, destructive, adept. You could even re-roll off ferocious for brutal if you have a DPS build, but you know what? M1As are still pretty good, even though SVD seem to be ruling along with Model 700s. But, and that's at the Crypt. Alright, moving over to the Firewall Safehouse. These aren't top tier, but robust chest piece with health and enemy armor damage rolled natively on it. You could re-roll the firearms number and put it somewhere else. Also, minor attribute is kill XP. On top of that, anybody running a turret or firecrest build, 6.5% turret health. Believe it or not, more helpful than you think. So those are here again at the Firewall. At the Grindhouse Safehouse, she's got a nice AUG A3P, 90% crit hit chance, a little bit middle tier there, but deadly, talented, and brutal on it. So this is a nice versatile AUG. Whether you're going to run a DPS build, get rid of talented, or if you're running a skill build, you get AUG in the free slot. I actually might pick this up myself. Alright, moving on. Alright, at the Southpaw Safehouse, this guy's 2 items for sale here. First is the pair of astute gloves. Most people go with Savage, but first 3 bullets of your magazine have a 5% higher chance to do a crit hit. 1244 stamina, 929 SMG damage, 6% crit hit chance, and 14% crit hit damage. They're not bad, and I know people that actually use these pair of gloves. On top of that, a prototype electronics mod with 238 electronics. That is on the very, very low side, but over 3,000 health is on it, and that's why I'm pointing it out. So for anybody that does not have the electronics mod blueprint, and you're running a skill build, but you do want some health, I would take a look at this despite the low number of electronics. At the Madison Safehouse, he does have a prototype performance mod with 5% pulse duration. I was asked numerous times where to get these types of mods. Guys, they're at the safe houses, DZ checkpoints, and Overworld bosses drop them. So for everybody running pulse, 5% pulse duration is here.
Don't worry, it happens.
Go ahead and pick it up if you need to. Alright, that's it for the safe houses. So moving into the dark zone at the Park Ave checkpoint. Again, it is a prototype performance mod with 2% pulse critical hit chance. Once again, anybody that's looking to stack their pulse crit. Fuck, why can't I talk about this one? Oh my god. Okay, moving into the dark zone, that's it for all of the safe houses at the Park Ave DZ checkpoint. It is a prototype performance mod, once again, with 2% pulse critical hit chance. So anybody that's looking to stack their pulse crit hit, there is that mod here for you. At the West 31st Street DZ checkpoint, she's got a pretty good extended mag again for anybody that does not own the blueprint. 110% magazine size, 4% critical hit damage, and 5.1% fire rate. So, go ahead and pick that up if you need it. At the West 53rd Street DZ checkpoint, she has a classic M60, 13% damage to targets out of cover with Deadly, Unforgiving, and Skilled. Skilled being in the free slot, so that is always a bonus. On top of that, there is a T-Rant suppressor with 7% critical hit chance, 4% crit damage, 2.5% stability. Stability, you would want headshot damage, but anybody in desperate need of one, there is one here for sale.
Come on, you're killing me.
At the East 40th Street DZ checkpoint, she has a tactical ACR for those of you that are still a fan. Supply drops have expired. 22% enemy armor damage with predatory, capable, and self-preserve. Now this would be good for PvE, especially anybody running a build like Tacticians where you need to get any portion of your health back because you don't have enough DPS to sustain yourself with straight up gunfights. This would be helpful. You can roll off self-preserved if you're not a fan, but honestly I find it quite useful. Prototype performance mod with 4% ballistic shield damage resilience, so anybody running the defense set, this is here for you.
Think about buying something next time.
At the East 46th Street DZ checkpoint, he's got an MP7 for sale with 21% crit hit chance. Dominant, Destructive, and Adept. I would get rid of Dominant for something like Brutal or Deadly. So anyways, this is here for you guys to pick it up if you don't already have the blueprint. Okay, this is our final stop of the week at the Park Ave DZ checkpoint. Overall, nothing too special for the week. I'm going to show you what he has in just a sec. But once again, friendly reminder, if the video was helpful at all, please go ahead and drop it a like. It does help me out a lot as these videos do take quite a bit of time to put together. I will leave the timestamps in the description for each item. If you're new to the channel, I hope you will consider subscribing for more Division content. Follow me on Twitter at AfflictedGamer and Facebook.com/AfflictedGamer. And also the stream times for me to be here live on YouTube are at the end of the video. Alright, the weapons vendor has an MP5 with 21% crit hit chance, Dominant, Fierce, and Unforgiving. I would get rid of Dominant once again for something like Brutal, Deadly, Destructive, whatever your choice is. Classic AK with Intense, Talented, and get rid of Accurate for something else. And honestly, that is about it. So sorry guys, but this is our week in the Division. Hopefully next week there will be something better. Don't forget to double check the hub, because if I already have a blueprint, then it will not appear for me on screen, but it might be there for you. But other than that, everything else remains the same. Anyways, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, your week. Get the stuff you need for this week from the vendors if you saw anything appealing at all. And I will see you guys very soon in the next video.